All right. Hello, everyone. Rachel Jensen here, broker owner of Luna Realty Belize on the beautiful island of Ambergris Caye, Belize. In today's session of In the Inbox, we have a great question, a commonly asked question, and one that we're going to get clarified for you. We are at question number 10 in this series. If you've missed the previous 9 questions, feel free to go back in the YouTube channel here to get caught up. There's a lot of great information and questions that have been asked over the last few months, and we want to make sure that you're all caught up. So today's question is from Jan L. And Jan said, can I receive title to my property in Belize as a foreigner? And this is a great question because there are many countries in the world where as a foreigner, you do not receive title to your property. In some cases, you need to have a local who is going in with you on the property. Maybe they own 51% and you own 49%. In Mexico, it's fairly common to have something called fideicomiso, which is if you're within a 100-kilometer radius of the coast, then you have to have a bank trust that owns the property. It's typically a 99-year lease. So a lot of people are asking that question when they come here to Belize. The great answer is that yes, you do receive title to your property here in Belize as a foreigner. And when you are going through that purchasing process, one of the steps in the due diligence process after you complete your offer to purchase, put down the 10% deposit into escrow, is going to be a title search. And at that point, we're making sure, the attorneys are making sure that there's clear title on the property. And typically when you're working with your real estate agent on that offer to purchase, one of the contingencies for you moving forward or not is going to be if there is clear title on the property. If there's not, then you're entitled to receive your 10% deposit back. If it is clear, then you can proceed there with the purchase. It typically takes about 3 to 4 weeks for the attorneys to get that clear title report. We don't necessarily have an open lands registry like in the States where you're able to find out who owns the property. It really is reserved for the attorney. So you do want to make sure that you have an attorney through this process here to make sure that you have clear title. There are a couple of different ways that you can own real estate. In our session last week, we talked about the different types of way to own the real estate or the different ways to have title. But for example, you can hold it in your personal name. The property may be in a company already, like a Belize corporation or an IBC, an international Belize or business company, an IBC international business company. And then from there, you would receive the shares. So it's like a share sale transfer. So there are different ways to own the property, to hold title to the property. Ask your real estate agent how the property is currently held, just to confirm that you understand what that process looks like when it comes to closing and to understand the closing costs. But do listen to that session last week about the different ways to title the property so that you're caught up on what that process looks like. But yes, the good news is you do receive title. One thing I want to mention as well is that it takes a little bit of time for you to get the physical deed. I know in a lot of countries, you typically within 30 days, closing within 30 days, you get the actual physical deed. In Belize, it takes about 12 to 18 months in order for you to receive that physical piece of paper. However, when you're going through the closing process at the end, after the funds have been paid, put into the escrow, and then dispersed over to the seller, then you're going to get what they call an LRS number. And that will come from the attorney. The LRS number is the registration number at the lands department to notify the lands department that you are now the owner of the property. So even though you don't have the physical deed, you have that LRS number. You can go online, log in, see where that property is at in the titling process to see when you are going to receive the title. Now, I'd say just pack your patience with this process. It'll typically take, like I mentioned, 12 to 18 months. I have heard some people getting it sooner than that, other people getting it after the 18 months. But just as long as you're in touch with the closing attorney, then that's really the best that you can do, just to check in, and then also check in through your online portal. So if you're new to owning real estate here in Belize, feel free to reach out for the 12 must-know facts before you buy property, before you buy real estate in Belize. This is a really important guide that we put together for people like you who are just starting out with the purchasing process. Even if you're not new, if you've maybe gone through this process before, there may be some tips in here that help you with your next purchase. Feel free to reach out to us. The email address there is info@Luna Realty Belize, info@Luna Realty Belize, and we look forward to hearing from you. Bye, everyone. Thank you.